Hey y'all, this is Lisa One Singing Lady Gilliam here again, speaking to you all about random but real topics. You know how I do. If you had an opportunity to check out my last video, I used the football analogy. I love the game, y'all. And, although I am going to be speaking more about relationships, not just with females, but also with males right now, God's just been dropping analogies for the men. But I'm telling you, ladies, you all can learn something from this too, especially y'all who don't know sports. And, we're actually in the weeks of the Olympics. And so these analogies actually can maybe be helpful as you watch some of the Olympic Games. And today, y'all, we are speaking about basketball. So, if you know me for a while, I was actually very athletic growing up. I played softball, soccer, through the shot put and discus, as well as volleyball. I was actually captain, y'all, and I played basketball. I actually used to run track too when I was really younger. But in high school, it was shot put, discus, volleyball, and and that was a part of the track team and basketball. And because I was tall, I used to be 6'1". I've shrunk, believe it or not, 5'11" now, and maybe 5'10" and a half. Don't tell nobody. And one of the things that I had to learn to do, because I didn't really want to play. People just kept on asking me. Shout out to my coach, former coach, Coach Brown. He was amazing, y'all. I actually learned the game, and I still enjoy the game now, and could still play the game probably if I tried to get on the court. But one of the things that came to mind when I was thinking about relationships and the team sport of basketball is something that's super important that everybody that knows how to play the game has to do. Can y'all guess what that is? Dribble. Correct. You have to be able to dribble the ball up and down the court. If you can't dribble, you're probably not going to get to the point where you can actually score, right? And we know that everybody is 5 people on the court. Everybody has a different position, right? Not here to even really talk about the positions, but if that comes out, we'll talk about that too. But I was really thinking about how many men are dribbling the ball incorrectly. And if you saw the football video, you know that no, females are not balls. However, it's such a great analogy, and I think it really relates. In fact, one of my play brothers told me that listening to the football analogy, because I was speaking about sports, it was an easier way for him to understand exactly where I was coming from. And so I hope that this happens this time too. So I was like, let me just see what the official definition is. And one of the definitions I saw, even though Wikipedia is not necessarily, for some people, they don't feel like it's actually valid information. I do think it's interesting to see what they have to say. And basically, and I'm paraphrasing, it was like, it's the only legal way to play the game of basketball. And basically, you're going to take one hand at a time because we don't want to double dribble, right? Because you can get disqualified that for, or, have a foul. We don't need fouls, okay? But at the time, one hand at the time has to dribble the ball. And how many guys do we know out there in the world, or females too, because these are applicable to both sexes, are dribbling balls with multiple people or trying to dribble it with both hands, right? That is not going to help you get to the basket to score. Now, I'm not talking about sex, just being honest. I'm talking about long lasting, loving, committed relationships. If that is your goal and you're not willing to actually learn how to dribble the ball, you're not going to be productive. I don't think I've met any athlete that wants to be on a team and not win. In all my life, I'm 51, y'all. I've never met a person on a team that played a sport that did not want to win. Do we win all the time? Of course not. Sometimes we do, sometimes we don't. But I think it's really interesting that if you don't protect the ball as you're dribbling it down the court, you have the option, or basically you create the option for your ball to be stolen. And that's what a lot of guys and females are doing. Y'all are not protecting the females that you say that you're interested in. You're only in it for selfish reasons. And because of that, some of you all have lost or had your balls taken or ball taken. They've been stolen from you because you didn't know how to protect it to make sure that the opposing team, y'all get this, took this ball and went. And let me tell y'all, I played ball, like I said, and it is nothing like, I don't know that I ever had a ball stolen from me, but it's nothing like being on the team and you think your teammate is actually about to make this basket and somebody from the opposing team comes and takes the ball, and then you're not able to get the score. And what's worse, they take the ball and then they score and win the game. If you had just protected the ball in the first place, and you knew really how to dribble and make sure that your opposition isn't anywhere closer, if they're closer to you, you got to really be talented to, continue to bounce that ball or dribble the ball, but also, use your other arm sometimes so for defense so that they don't come in and take it, or vice versa. And so, I just really hope guys realize that, females too, that God has placed female in your life. You say that you want a spouse. Like I said, this is for like long-term committed relationships. And yet you're not protecting the person that God has placed in your life. You're allowing other people to steal them from you. And I know some people say, well, if they, got stolen or taken, then they weren't yours in the first place. Granted, maybe that is true to an extent. But if you think about the game of basketball, no one is in control of dribbling that particular ball at that time except for you. Nobody can take it if you don't allow them to take it. So if you're watering, your relationship, you're spending time in your relationship, you are praying for your relationship, you're doing all those things to make sure that your significant other feels the way that they should feel, then chances are they won't be taken. The ball won't be stolen. And nobody else is going to score on the other side. I've talked to many couples and people over the years who have gone through that experience. And from what I hear, it's not cool. So why not just protect it from the jump? It reminded me of a time when I first started playing. I would be like a little timid on the court. And I told you I'm 5'11". I was 6'1" then. But I had to learn to really play the game. I used to be afraid to be, or like if I stole the ball, because I've done that before, or I've got turnovers. I was, pretty fast on the court because I told you I used to play track or run track, back in the day, and I was much smaller then too. So I got the ball and I would go down, and I knew how to make a layaway, or layup, score doing a layup, and I froze because of fear. And instead of sticking to what I had practiced and what I learned, because most teams, I don't know any basketball team that doesn't practice free throws and layups. It's almost like every practice. You may not be a person that does a jump shot or a jumper. You might not be a 3-point, shooter, but layup is essential. Dribbling essential, and you're going to know how to get a ball in the on a free throw, right? And so, ball in the hoop, I should say, on a free throw. And I was afraid. And so rather than stick to what I knew, I basically threw the ball away. I'm not a 3-point shooter. Barely do jumpers. I've done it, but that's not my forte, right? As a 5 position, I was guarding. I was a center. I had to guard the court, the basket, basically. And because I was afraid, I just put the ball up. But if I had taken my time, continued to protect that ball and dribble, because I could dribble, that's an essential tool. I told you, something you have to do if you play the sport of basketball. And just did the layup, that would have been 2 easy points. But because of my fear, I gave up and threw the ball away. So for those of you who are not allowing your balls to be stolen or taken, some of you, because of fear, are not allowing yourself the time, the precision it takes to get to that basket to make the score, to take the shot. Sometimes you have to wait to take the shot. Sometimes it's not the time to take the shot that you think it might be. Sometimes you have to wait on God's timing before you even get to that place. But I just want to leave you with this one thing. please make sure that if you're going to get into the game, that you're ready. Please don't play with females' hearts. And females, please don't play with males' hearts. If you're not ready to be in the game, if you know that your teammates want to win this game, and in a relationship, y'all supposed to be teammates. If you know that you're not ready for long-term relationship, marriage, commitment, all that stuff, then don't get in the game in the first place, because then it leads to a whole bunch of other complications and sometimes even worse situations because you weren't ready and you played around in the game because of fear or whatever, a numerous amount of reasons. And so I just want y'all to think about that when it comes to dribbling the ball, when it comes to, having that skill and protecting the ball. Think of your relationship as this ball, and that you don't want anybody else to steal it. Do the things that you're supposed to do so you can maintain that relationship and grow. I want y'all to win. I want y'all to score. Again, not talking about sex. Score in the game of life. Okay? So I hope that you will like and subscribe to all social media pages. TikTok, Facebook is a little bit different, but you can find me at Lisa Gilliam, One Singing Lady. But Instagram, TikTok, X at One Singing Lady, Threads, the same thing. Or visit my website, www.lisalgilliam.com. And if this has blessed you, or you have any understanding now clearer about how you should protect your relationship, and not dribbling the ball in an incorrect way, but really taking your time, learn that skill, time and patience to get down to the other side of the court so that you can score and win the game, then please let me know. I appreciate it. I'm sure there'll be some more sports analogies. Who knows? Maybe throughout the whole Olympics, or maybe it'll just be other things. But I will continue to speak, and soon you'll hear the big announcement about what I'm getting ready to do next. But if you haven't caught my book, or mine and Tracy book, 21 Days, please go to Amazon, Walmart. You can actually get it directly Instagram, Barnes and Noble. I'm putting 21 Days with my name and Tracy and Morley's name, and purchase the book, because you're going to want the book in order to go through the next process. And it's for men and women, all different types of relationships, especially if you've gone through any type of heartache or heartbreak in your life, family, death, what else? End of a relationship, even friendship issues. So go ahead and get that book, 21 Days. We thank you in advance for your support. And remember, please protect the balls when you're dribbling it. Have a good one. One Singing Lady out.